Hello, my sweet, sweet children and sweet, sweet mothers of the sweet, sweet children and sweet, sweet fathers also. So this story, I have specially flown down to Greece to tell you this story. I got this beautiful story from Greece, and this story is dedicated to Amanda, who will be visiting Greece very soon. So I had read the story in my English class reader when I was a child. There was a little twist to the story, I think, but there are a few different versions because it's a very old classical, classic tale, a folk tale from Greece. So the name of the story is the Midas touch. So the story goes that in ancient Greece there was a very nice king, very benevolent king, very good to his people, very spiritual kind of a king. He would do make a lot of good causes, and his name was King Midas. But the king loved gold. Gold was his weakness. He used to think the most beautiful thing in this world is gold, and nothing can match gold. So when he had a little daughter, he called her Marigold. And he was really, really very fond of his daughter. And the daughter also was very fond of her father. And the queen was no longer there, so the father and daughter were very fond of each other. And they used to live very happily in the palace. But since the king was always, collecting gold and doing his work, he would, not give enough time to his daughter sometimes. So what happened was that little Marigold decided to pray to the gods that, I want my father to play more with me and to be less interested in gold. So she was a very sweet child, very nice child, and the gods heard her prayers. So at that time in Greece, there was a god Dionysus and his friend Silenus. So what happened the next day? They plotted a thing for teaching King Midas a lesson. So when King Midas went on his rounds to his people and his estate, to his kingdom, Silenus was standing on one corner and King Midas saw him. Now King Midas was a very warm, gentle person otherwise, so he decided to invite Silenus to his palace. And when he called him, he gave him a nice banquet, he fed him, made him feel good. And when he had had his food, his friend god Dionysus was looking for him, so he reached the palace. And when he reached the palace, he said, I'm so happy that you have taken care of my friend so well. Silenus is my best friend and you have fed him and looked after him. So he told King Midas, okay, you can ask me for any any wish. I'll grant you any wish of yours. Now, can you guess what King Midas asked for? Yeah? Yes, he asked for gold because gold was what he liked best. So he said, can you do something like this that whatever I touch should turn into gold? Because I love collecting gold. My basement is full of gold. And if that happens, I will have gold everywhere around me. Won't that be beautiful? So Dionysus just smiled. He said, think again. Do you really want this wish to be granted? I can grant it for you. But are you very sure? So King Midas could not think beyond gold. He said, yes, this is all I want. I just want gold, gold and gold. So anything that I touch should turn into gold. So he said, fine, I'll grant you this wish. So he granted him the wish. Now what happens is, the next morning when King Midas gets up, he puts his feet on the floor turns into gold. He touches his bed touches into gold. He touches his pets, the pets turn into gold. He goes out into the garden. There's a fountain he touches, the water in the fountain turns into gold. Then he touches the flowers, they turn into beautiful gold. And the king is overjoyed. He's so happy. He says, wow, what a wish I've been granted. Gods are so great, gods are so kind. They have given me the golden touch. Anything I touch turns into gold. So he decided, come on, let's have a party. So he told everyone to put a feast and he sat down on the table and he said, let's eat. Now when they started eating, He picked up his glass of. As soon as King Midas picked up the glass of water to drink, guess what happened? The water turned into solid gold, and he was not able to drink any water. Then he picked up his bread to eat. The bread turned into gold, so he could not eat his food. In the meanwhile, Marigold came running to have breakfast with him, and before he could stop her, she came and gave him a big tight hug. And guess what happened? As soon as she hugged him, she turned into a golden statue. And when that happened, King Midas was really upset. He thought to himself, what have I done? I've lost my daughter. Now I have a statue of gold. He started crying. And he was really upset because he really loved his daughter a lot. And he didn't want a golden statue instead of his daughter. He wanted his daughter back. So he started praying. And he prayed to God Dionysus. He said, please God, it's been a big mistake that I've been only and only wanting gold in my life. I don't want this Midas touch. I don't want this touch of gold. Please take it back from me and give me everything back as it was. Just normal. My daughter, my flowers, my garden, my food, my water, everything. I want it back, and I'm sorry for being so greedy about gold. I will never ever do it again. I've realized that it is no point having so much greed for gold when you have given us such a beautiful universe to enjoy and to live and to feel and to breathe and to eat and to smell and to have lots of love with each other, with your children, with your people. So I don't want everything turning into gold. So once he realized that, then God Dionysus came to him and he said, okay, I'm glad you realized it. Actually, we thought of doing this and helping you understand how important it is not to just focus on gold. So now what you can do is you run down to the river and which is nearby, and you have a bath, and the spell will break, and bring some water from the river, and on whatever objects or things that have turned into gold by your touching, just sprinkle that water all over them and they will all come back to their original state. So King Midas ran to the river and he quickly had a bath, and he quickly, filled up a jug of water and ran back to the palace. And guess what he did first? Yes, the very first thing he did was to run to his daughter, who had turned into a golden statue, sprinkled lots of water on her, and she turned back into his loving dear doll, his loving dear daughter, and they both hugged each other and they were very happy. And after that, they both went around sprinkling water on everything that had turned into gold. The fountain in the garden, the flowers, the bed, the room, the roof, the floor, everything. And everything came back to normal. And then they really thanked God, and Marigold really thanked God that his father had understood the importance of everything else, and he was not only focused on gold anymore. So this is a story from Greece, and I especially flew down to Greece so that I could get a story from there to tell you. I hope you all enjoyed this story, and if you really enjoyed it, do send me a comment in the comment section and share it with your friends and like it. And if you are still not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Press the bell icon, because I'm going again to a very wonderful place, maybe Sweden next time, and I will come back with a very beautiful story for all of you. So on that note, lots of love to all of you, especially to Amanda, and Dilliwalinani loves you.